we saved. I think that's one of the key things I want to point out. Like money just doesn't like fall in your lap. Like we started saving when we got married. We had a goal for our 5-year, before we reach 5 years, we want to go to Europe. That was our goal that we had in mind. And we saved for that and we planned for it for years. And then COVID hit. So it was about 7 years before we actually made it, just because we couldn't go during COVID. But that, honestly, just being smart with money and like putting some away continuously and like having a goal in mind, like it doesn't happen overnight. Another thing that this is like, I'm not a finance person, so this is just how we do things. Like we do have a credit card. We pay it off every single month. We don't have a massive credit card bill. We're not in debt. Which I know people may like look, and I always feel like people look at my life and think that I'm like in massive debt. Like that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's just not.
You can have and look that great without having so much debt behind closed doors that you're completely stressed about.
Yeah, there's good debt, right? Like if you understand how finances work, you can have good debt, and we're not massively in debt, and we pay off our credit card every month, and we use our credit card. If you have the right credit card, you can get points and you can earn points. Yeah. We actually are paying for our flights to Japan through points through our credit card.
I thought you might be.
Oh yeah. So there's always a way. Like if you get it, if you actually just research, you can find out how to travel at a more affordable cost, or just like accrue points with your credit card or save up for it. But that's how we've been able to travel. As far as the planning goes, like we utilize like all the technology that we have, right? 5 years ago, let's say 10 years ago, you didn't really have all of these like apps and things like Airbnb where you could easily get something booked. So we book pretty far in advance to get the best pricing, but we don't use like a travel agent. We typically don't spend a ton of money on like tours, because you just your money gets really sucked away when you do that kind of stuff. Like we usually, when we plan these trips, like we book the things we have to book, and then we kind of just like explore, and we don't pay a lot for like tickets and fees to like, tour this castle. Like we usually just see the castle for free and then go to the next thing. Yeah. So it's just like it's just planning wisely is how we've been able to make that happen.
And I got you too. Cause like before COVID, I was actually planning to go to Australia. I got the whole plan. I was going to Sydney, going to all throughout Australia. And right before I was getting everything secured, getting passports, all that kind of stuff, here comes COVID. And then it knocked the rails a couple years. So I haven't personally been, but seeing people that have gone and talking to them on how they did it is I'm definitely going in the next couple of years, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you definitely should. Like I think a lot of people spend a ton of money on like going to Disney World and stuff. Like you can actually go to Europe probably for a more affordable trip than going to Disney World. So it's really just like allocating your money where you want to spend it. Like tickets to Europe are not as expensive as they used to be. We've booked flights to Europe for $1,000 per person, which I've paid that much going to Houston before because of like sky high prices. So it just depends on like just researching and finding the best deals. So it's definitely possible, but it just takes some effort and some research.
Yeah.